2-inch, 10-foot threaded pipe. No, just kidding. All right, hey guys. So there's been a lot of questions about our well project. I want to say that it was kind of a failure a little bit, but it was also a learning experience for us. We drove the pipe into the ground, and we were pumping, and you guys could see that it was a lot of effort to pump, and the water that we got up was really dirty and stuff like that. I think if we had continued to pump, it would have cleared up, but the pump was having a lot of issue pulling water out of the ground. It's like a sandpoint well is supposed to be driven into sand or sandy soil, but we think we hit a clay pocket. So we think that we're in clay right now. So the screen is getting clogged up with all the clay, closing up all the little gaps and stuff. And so it's a lot of, like when we pump, it's a lot of effort. All right, so the reason that we're having trouble pulling water out of our soil is because the screen's getting clogged. I'm pretty sure that we've hit a clay pocket and there had a bunch of clay on it. And I was hoping that was due to us passing through a clay pocket on the way down. We're pretty sure that it's in clay because as we were pumping, we couldn't get an easy flow of water. You could tell that there was a lot of suction. It was really hard to crank it, and it wasn't like freely bringing water out of the soil. Also the depth. All right, so we believe we're right around 25 feet because we had two sections of 10-foot, 2-inch pipe. We had the one drivable sandpoint well tip, like the section, which is roughly 5 feet. So it was two 10-inch sections and then another, plus there's two threaded couplers. So, I mean, we're right at 25 feet, all right? The one-way valve, which we did initially install. However, when we brought it back up, it was split and we didn't have another, so we didn't reinstall that. And that just makes it so that you lose your prime. So when you pull up the water, if there's no one-way valve, the water will just leak back down and air will be in there. So then you'll have to prime your pump every time you go to pump, which is a hassle. And that's why you put the one-way valve in there. We got two drive couplers. It's important that when you buy your the couplers for the pipe, it's important that you use drive couplers because the other ones, the threads and the wall of the coupler don't support the weight of you hammering on the pipe. So you'll have issues, it'll split there, up leaks and stuff. We got two of them. We got a pump. All this was bought at Lowe's too. I just wanted to say that, except for the pipe. The pipe we got at Home Depot, but everything else was done at Lowe's. The pump that we got was a Vevor, sorry. It's a hand water pump. It was cast iron waterfall. The drive caps, one drive cap that we used, and then the pipe threader glue, like the threading compound that we use, which I don't know if I really recommend that, but we ended up using thread tape. Thread tape's really cheap. It's like a couple dollars. So the total for all of it, the grand total was 407 cents. We didn't write that down. Okay, 407 cents. And again, I will say, I don't feel like this was a total loss. One, because we still have a lot of the components that we can move somewhere else and try at another location. Questions were, did the water clear up? For us, we were pretty sure we're in clay. It didn't make much sense for us to continue to pump it and pump it and pump it. And that's what you have to do initially when you do one of these sandpoint wells. You know, if you find a good pocket and you're in the right area and you're pumping, you have to pump it for a while to make the water clear up because you're pulling out all the loose sediment and stuff like that. There is a screen on the bottom of the sandpoint, on the drive point. There is like a screen that's supposed to like filter out a lot of the debris and impurities and things like that, but we're fairly certain that we're in clay. We're gonna have to move it. If you install one of these, you'll have to pump, and you can see there's tons of videos on YouTube that you can watch other than ours where they have actually like put this in sand and got it perfect. And they pump probably 10 5-gallon buckets, 10 to 12 5-gallon buckets to make it to get it to clear up. Ours didn't. We didn't continue to pump. Like right now, I could probably put another section of pipe on and drive it further down. But the problem with doing that is you can only suck about roughly like 20 feet is all the amount that you're going to be able to suck water up a pipe. They sell well pumps where there's a threaded rod that goes down the center of the pipe, and they have a pump at the bottom. So it moves a plunger at the bottom, so it's pumping the water up from the bottom when you hand crank. And those are significantly more expensive. And that's why when you have like a house with like a 200-foot well, what they do is they put an electric pump with a piece of pipe with the electrical wires going up the pipe, and they push it down the well. They get it all the way down to the bottom, and the pump is at the bottom, so it pumps the water up. It's easier to push the water up than it is to have a pump at the top trying to suck the water up. The pump that Viver offers, the one that we bought from Lowe's, like it specifically says that it will not pull more than I think it says 20 feet. That could be our issue too. We had it right at 25 feet, so maybe the reason that it's not sucking the water up is because our pipe is too long. This is all learning experience for us. We didn't spend thousands of dollars to get soil sample dug. We didn't do that because it's just not cost effective. We were just trying to get water out there for some of our projects that we were doing. We're probably going to need a well, like an actual professionally installed well. But again, they're super expensive. So thanks for spending some time with me, and I hope I answered all the questions. If you have more questions, please let me know. Stay tuned. We have more stuff coming up.